Sometimes I get taken for a ride. Sometimes people know exactly what to say to my insecure parts, my wounded parts, my don't know what I'm doing insecure parts, and they fluff me up and I believe them, and then they totally take advantage of me. And then I find out somewhere through this process that they completely took advantage of me, and I start to stand up for myself. And then they blame me and shame me and project all this shit onto me. And sometimes I, in the past, used to take it. I used to go, oh no, sorry. Like the little Canadian sorry. And give away my power, give away my money. If it was in a romantic relationship, give away my body. Business relationship, give away my power, my money. I'm so grateful that I do the work and I stop shaming myself. And I forgive myself for making decisions from insecurity or lack of knowledge, or afraid to ruffle somebody's feathers, or afraid to be with somebody who gets angry at me when I stand my ground. And so I just responded to an email right now, and they were trying to get away with it again. And I stood up for myself again, CC'd my lawyer again. And it's just fascinating to me, the lack of integrity. And there's a contract and everything, but why keep to the contract? And so as we go into this next podcast with the amazing Carla, my client, and my voiceover artist who's narrated my books and will be narrating my Allana Pratt Method Processes, and we speak about shame. You know, we are shamed by others often, but are we going to shame ourselves too? And I've watched this woman, Carla, shine and not allow circumstances or people's opinion of her or situations like ruffle her feathers. I mean, she's human. Sometimes it happens. But in general, this woman has become absolutely like a superhero with like Teflon superhero cape, where things just, she will not give others her energy. She will not allow circumstances or other people to take her energy. Her energy is hers. She's such a friggin' inspiration. You're going to love this. And I love myself, and I'm proud of myself for, even though someone shamed me, just take that shame energy, all that projection, and just do my little Aikido move. And nope. I'm going to stand firm with my heart open in truth and justice. And that is that. So enjoy this podcast. Welcome to Intimate Conversations, Soul Medicine. Intimacy is an inside job. Hello and welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations, Season 11, Soul Medicine. And what we're talking about today is shame and moving past painful lies and addictions with one of my most favorite people on the planet, the amazing Carla Emmons. You can find her at carlaemmons.com. She's a professional voiceover artist and one of my favorite clients. And I'm going to tell you a really beautiful story about her. She's actually in her booth being a voiceover artist right now. She's, as I said, a professional voiceover artist, and she's here to help. Her favorite voiceover projects are pieces that she gets to support the listener through learning something new, sorting out chaos, or finding delight. And which is not to say she doesn't love a good promo or a good sizzle reel, because this woman has done commercial voice work for Amazon, Sling TV, and multiple companies in the biotech and pharmaceutical sector, AI and software companies, and coaches, including Allana Pratt and Shelley Whitehouse. And throughout her career, Carla has been the calm through other people's chaos. And as a voice artist, Carla brings complicated concepts to life in engaging, relatable, and supportive ways. Previously, as a tech exec, Carla was anticipating, mitigating, and managing crises while building incredible teams and enhancing the flow of communication for individuals and teams. However, sometimes the calm one needs their own calm to get them through the chaos. And so for Carla, that calm has been me. I'm going to try not to cry. Allana Pratt. Allana supported Carla through the chaos of the end of her divorce, through integrating or dropping other toxic aspects of her life, and through the blossoming of an entirely new career. But to connect with others, Carla had to first reconnect with herself. And Allana's initial appeal was her personal vulnerability, a trait Carla had shut down entirely while working in the tech industry. And with Allana's help, Carla learned to extend the empathy and compassion she always has for others to herself as well. And to each project, Carla brings her voice, intellect, empathy, enthusiasm, and ability to meet the listener where they are. And the result is a final piece that is naturally engaging, a collaboration between the writer and the voice artist, as well as a conversation between the voice artist and the listener. Carla also likes coffee. Shall we hold up our mugs? Yes. And she also likes cats. I'm like, where are our cats? We could hold up our cats too, but and she also loves crafts and awesome alliteration. And she enjoys a challenge, but also loves to have fun with whatever she's doing. She's been known to juggle, both literally and metaphorically, but she leaves the unicycling to her daughter. I love that bio, honey. I love you. Oh, I'm so happy right now to be with you, but we need to just be serious for a second and talk about shame and lies, etc. Yeah, but we'll go on this journey. So first, how the hell did you find me? Like, how did I even
I saw you on a dating podcast on YouTube.
Got it.
And the guy you were talking to was, whatever. He was not very interesting in terms of his advice and all that. Yeah. But your presence just twinkled and sparkled like it always does now that I know you. But it was just like, I think I rewatched that podcast episode 3 or 4 times because I was just like, who is this woman? Wow. And how did she get so effusively herself? And it was and you talked about vulnerability a lot in that podcast and just asking for help. And as we know from my history, asking for help is not something I've ever been able to do.
Yeah.
I can ask questions, but asking for help is a big deal. So that particular podcast really spoke to me. And then I looked you up because I have Google power. And there you were.
Yeah. And then we began our journey together. I mean, I love all my clients, 100%, but there's always been a magic, like instantly with us. And whenever you are in my calendar to do a session, I always know like good shit's going to go down because you're brave. So even though you might have been, can we use the word shame? Ashamed to ask for help. You asked me for help. But it was different. It was more like sisterhood, partnership, like let's hold hands and go through the fire together. So how did you get through the shame of asking for help to ask for help?
I was able to do it very secretly, briefly, in that I didn't tell people I had engaged a life coach. I didn't tell anyone about, the fact that I was really hating everything about life. I hated my career for a very long time before I ended it over in the tech world because it just wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah.
I love people, it turns out. I love building teams, but tech has this culture that's toxic to me. And it took a toll over mumble years. And while I was, completely successful and had all the trappings of having a great life, I was miserable. Yeah. And so I couldn't see letting anyone, like, I didn't want to do the woe is me because they're like, but you have all of this stuff going for you.
Yeah.
Why are you complaining? But I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah. So I was your secret superpower.
You were my secret calm through the chaos for a good 6 months, actually. And then I started telling my friends about it because they'd started to be like, you're a little more chill. I'm like, I am. And let me tell you why, which was really exciting that people were actually noticing. Yeah.
We got through some big hurdles. I mean, talk about some of the, generally, we aren't like proud of our divorce. We're not proud of our pain, but you were very brave.
It was a series of very large life changes because in 2017, I moved to Maine. And then in 2018, I was getting a divorce.
Yeah.
And I had moved home which was great, like home to the state. And my daughter started kindergarten in there and all of this stuff. And I was beginning to realize tech was making me miserable.
Mm.
So it was all the upheaval all at once.
Yeah. You are so brilliant, so articulate, so like, I just love listening to you on the group calls. And I love how your daughter like will peek her little head in, and she's grown over the about 5 years or so that we've been
Yes.
doing this dance together. But you were probably one of the most in your head and willing. I love you, but the whole idea of little you're like, where the hell is she? I don't get that. You weren't in your body. And now you totally are in your body, in your heart, in your yoni. You're just like yummy as shit. So how did that happen?
I had to give up on judging the processes. I had to let go. I did because I'm over here being my jaded, critical tech girl self.
Yeah, you're like so
And
stupid. You're
right. I mean, you get into, I mean, it's like if you go to, any off the wall thing that's out of the norm for you, the first thing you're going to be like, well, for me, because I'm not a joiner, like, okay, I'll be over here. You guys do your thing.
Right.
And with these processes, I was really skeptical at first. And then I started going through them. Like when I consciously decided, I'm doing this, I'm putting time and energy into it, I need to do it all the way.
Yeah.
When I let go of that judgment on the processes and myself, funny how it finally started to like click and work, and it became so much more effective and meaningful to just, even just to talk to you or to do any of the reading or processes that I was doing.
Yeah. How did it begin to affect I'll do first inside then outside. So
Okay.
when you did begin to go inside and find the parts of you that were lying to yourself, find the parts of you that you were ashamed that were in there, how did you start to come home and be at peace, be that calm for yourself?
I started to prioritize. I started to not care about like little stuff that goes wrong. The imperfections of life in general, but the imperfections of a day's schedule going awry stopped bothering me so much because I had let go of so many other things that I was just like, it's time. It doesn't matter. It'll get done or it won't, and the world won't end. And that is part of my tech brain has always been something terrible is going to happen and we're going to have to respond. And while we don't work in emergency medicine, we are expected to really be able to, burn the midnight oil and get it done. And, now I look back on that and go, that's completely unfair to anyone. And it's a terrible structure to have in place. But when you're in the middle of it, you don't see anything wrong with it.
Right. Yeah. When you're a fish in water and you're just treading water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What part of yourself did you have to integrate, let go of? What lie did you have to stop telling yourself to really make the move into this voiceover world that you thrive in?
I had to stop telling myself that I had to do tech because I was good at it. A lot of people I've worked with over time have loved working with or for me. We've pulled off amazing things with and without extra hours. And I'm good at it. And I had to let go of that obligation to do what I am good at because it wasn't doing anything for me.
Yeah. And when you started getting into the voiceover world, did you have any like lies you were telling yourself, like, oh, I'll never make money at my dream. I'll give up tech. I'll live my dream, but I'll probably live on food stamps. Like, what was your thought pattern there that shifted as you moved into this dream career?
Can I swear on this podcast?
Fuck yeah, all the time.
Awesome. I was already in the fuck it phase because I'd quit my day job. the AI startup that we started was going dormant briefly. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go take this voiceover program and learn to do this stuff. And then I really loved it. So it was almost on a lark. It was me going, why the hell not? It sounds like fun. Yeah. And then I was good at it. I love it. I cannot get enough of it. My happy little booth is my happy little place. I mean, it's amazing. I cannot imagine being bored at this job.
Wow. I'm curious about where the impetus came from, because you were very much in your head doing what you were good at with IT. Where did can we relate it to you living more in your heart, more in your pussy? Like, can we more in your body? Like, because it's not a thought that made you go, oh, I think I should do voice. It was like a juicy, delicious, joyful, free way of being that led you there. True?
Yeah. So the program I did is called Such a Voice, and you can find them if you Google them. And they are wonderful people, and they give you this, you do a webinar and then you do a consultation with one of their coaches. I met with this great guy, Brian, and wouldn't you know it, he pegged me in 30 seconds. He's like, you have a great voice. You clearly have a great brain. You're not connecting with the text. And so the heart part of it was still not clicking in when I started the program. And then, in fact, I extended my lessons. I stretched out the program to like twice as long as it needed to be by having my coach time, so that I could see my coach every week for half an hour, and then process for a week, and then see her again and process, etc. Because I still wasn't in my body, but I could almost touch it when I started. It's like, it's there. And then sort of, I don't know, midway through, something burst, and I could finally, I still can't do super schmaltzy stuff without giggling, but I could finally get the empathy that I have for others. I could finally channel into my voice.
Wow. I'm so curious about, and not that you need to know the name of it, but just the essence of what are some of the Allana Pratt Method processes? Oh, and I should just say, I am so fucking thrilled that Carla is now officially in the Allana Pratt Method certification to get her coaching certification, so she can help more people with coaching for voiceover. And she's also the one who's going to be, who's in the process of reading all of my 6 books. So I'll tell you about that at the end, because When Mama's Happy, Everybody's Happy is going to be coming out, and with Carla's voice this month. I'm so proud. What of the tools, points of view, ways of being that you've learned through the Allana Pratt Method processes helped you to do what you just said in your voiceover journey, where finally you dropped in, finally you connected?
I think for me, it's always been about letting go, but not letting go and ignoring it, but squeezing the heck out of it and then letting go, processing, integrating, either determining what I need to deal with and what is irrelevant to my life and what is other people imposing their values or thoughts on me. And that was something, it's not completely gone, but that it was a big part of how I viewed my own world, was how other people view me. And that's so easy to get caught up with when you're a mother, when you're a woman in tech, and when you're a woman in general in the world. It's such a, how do people perceive me perspective, that I needed to get back into my own mindset, my own perception. And so much of what we do is doing that hard work of realizing I'm hung up on something that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
But I've been hung up on it for so long. We need to do some work around it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've watched you let go of other people's opinions. I've watched you fall more madly in love with yourself. I've watched you not think, but know, pre-thought your truth. It's this way, not that way. Let's divert a little bit over to personal life as well. How have your relationships shifted? How has that gone for you? Because when I first met you, you were in the throes of a divorce, right? So how has your love life or friendships shifted because of doing this work?
I demand a lot more of my friends. In that I hold them to a higher standard than I used to.
Such as what?
Like like I have another friend who was also miserable in her job, but had this great talent that she needed to do something with. And so I just cheered her on. And she is doing something with her talent now. And I don't let my friends wallow as much, in part because I'm not wallowing with them.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to wallow in my own woe anymore. Maybe for a minute here and there, but not the way I used to. And so just by not being afraid to, okay, you've vented, this is good. Let's do something about it.
Right.
I feel like I've sorted out who's going to stick around and who's not. But I've found that a lot of my very close friends from forever are there to do the work too. And it's great.
Oh my God, that's magnificent. So you're literally being an inspiration, like they're rising with the tide. You're bringing out the best of them and they're acknowledging you.
Or I'm poking them with a pointy stick and they're figuring it out somehow. But yes.
Giddy up, people, giddy up. I got it.
Yeah. I mean, it's more, I'm holding them to their own desires. Like, if you don't want to do this, don't do it.
Right.
You have contingency plans that will help you. Enact them.
Yeah. Yeah. Friggin' love this. How about your feeling as a woman? Like your feeling of confidence or juiciness or willingness to really know what you deserve, the depth of your connection with partners. Like, how has that shifted?
I am so much more in my body and so much more just non-judgmental of myself.
Yeah.
That everything is better. I am more willing to get involved with people. I'm more willing to do everything. I don't feel like I need to hold myself back anymore.
So good. So good. What's it been like for your daughter to watch this shift in you? Does she comment? Have you rubbed off on her in the way she shows up? What's that look like? The unicycle.
Yeah. I am not raising a people pleaser because I was raised as a people pleaser and it did absolutely no good for me. So she is off being her independent self no matter what, but she's definitely noticed and commented on, I'm a lot calmer now. I'm a lot more focused on stuff. She gets really excited if I do anything for YouTube or Hulu. Goodness, she saw something on Hulu that I'd done and she's like, so she's really enthusiastic about this particular change in career because she can see it and touch it or hear it. And she also gets to see all the work that goes into it, the 100 auditions that result in 3 jobs. She sees that.
Right.
And unicycling is the same way. These kids typically take between 6 and 18 months to get up riding. And, she worked her butt off and she did it in 6 months. But
wow.
I was there for her. She was there for me. It's been really great.
I love this. I'm curious. I don't think I've ever really specifically asked you when the pandemic hit and it was you, single mom at home with her for all that time. What tools have you learned through our work together, through the Allana Pratt Method processes that really saved your ass and so you didn't kill her or she kill you? How did you get through it?
Through those 543 days? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It was 543 days.
Yep.
Oh, doodle. Oh, yeah. What was the practice?
Um, a lot of it was identifying the core problem. Like if I was easily upset on a given day because I hadn't slept well or something was bugging me, it's like, okay, I'm upset because I'm tired. Okay. And then communicating it. What a
Mm.
concept. Because, a 10-year-old can still understand, or if she was 9, I'm tired. I'm going to be cranky. I'm going to go off the handle faster. If you could keep that in mind and pat me on the head sometimes, that would be great. It worked beautifully. And now she does it to me where she's like, I'm really cranky because there was drama at school today. And then I get to hear all the drama. and then I get why she's moody at night. And we have popcorn and watch some Orville and call it good.
My God. I mean, that's called self-ownership, like taking ownership.
Right.
When we first have issues, we don't, well, first we're not even aware of them. And we probably just have addictions and medicate or check out on social media or
Mm-hmm.
how many glasses of wine or what have you. But then once we find what it is, it's so much easier to blame another, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But you're literally starting with awareness straight to ownership. No blaming of her for being the reason that you're
No.
in the way. Okay, that's huge, Carla.
For example, my morning this morning,
Yeah, tell me.
I had a 9 o'clock appointment. I go out at 8:40, turn the key on the car, battery's dead. Oh, well. Now 5 years ago, I would have gone nuts. There would have been tears. I would have been stressed out of my mind.
Yeah.
I call my appointment, ask if it's okay if I'm late. And they're like, sure, if you have time. I'm like, okay, car problems. I pull out my little battery charger from the garage and put it on. And I text my child to say the battery's dead in the car again. I think one of us left a door open because one of us left a door open. I'm not sure which. It doesn't matter, but we need to check each other because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, wow.
just going through this morning completely calm. Like, oh, I'm going to be late, but it's okay,
Wow.
is such an amazing transformation from how it was 5 years ago.
How might that have gone down 5 years ago?
I would have yelled at someone.
Yeah.
I would have yelled. I would have not necessarily felt confident to go charge my battery myself, even though, it's not rocket science and there are YouTube videos. I would have had to call, my dad or my boyfriend or somebody and be like, car trouble and needed, but it's just not that big of a deal. And it was great.
I'm so inspired by you. That is a testament to, I've never measured this or done statistics or hooked people up to machines, but it sounds like your central nervous system knows how to integrate trauma, stress, emotional triggers really elegantly. Like all of that unresolved emotions we have integrated. So there's calmness and emptiness and spaciousness inside so you can handle this kind of thing, because that's gorgeous. You so easily could have said somebody left the door open, passive aggressive, right? But you didn't.
But yeah, because you know what, it was already done.
Right.
And it doesn't matter who did it. It just matters that we're aware that it happened again and we try harder.
Right. Okay, that is a phenomenal skill to bring into romantic relationships as well. With your dating, since in comparison to the marriage, what would you say is like the biggest transformation in who you be, what you give, what you receive, how it goes? Dating.
I am more unfettered. I mean, I think I'm more unfettered in general. I am unapologetically myself more than I've ever been in my life.
Mm.
And so on the dating side of things, I am less afraid to be broken when I'm broken and less afraid to be exuberant when I'm exuberant. And that is in and of itself awesome.
Wow. Do you remember that time? I'm just remembering right now when you were dating And then he was like, oh, I'm not into this, or I'm pulling out, or whatever. What did he say? And it was just a fucking blindsiding. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
I was like crying, massively crying.
Mm-hmm.
What about the processes that we do, or who I be with you, or however it goes down, that allowed, because that was, I can still remember that call.
Mm-hmm.
And you got, by the end of it, you were like, I'm still glad I opened my heart and went for it.
Right.
Do you remember the one I mean?
I do. I'm trying to remember what we did for a process then. It was what has definitely helped is just the positive space to be open and deal with the consequences of being open, and not seeing getting hurt or having drama as negative. It just happens and you move forward.
Yeah.
And being able to, I mean, I think I spent the first 3 or 4 sessions just venting about my divorce, but then having the space to be like, okay, I did this, and this really sucks. But then you swoop in and say, but where's the benefit?
Mm.
And sometimes I hate it when you do that. Like, where is the good for you in this? And I'm like, but it's terrible. And
pretty much get it out of your system. But yeah.
Yes. And then you keep asking until I finally come up with it. And you're correct every time to ask. It's great.
It balances it out, so you don't get stuck looping in the negativity. You get on feelings, but then you move to, okay, because I personally don't want to be here on the planet if life's against me. Like, why on earth would I want to be here? So I just choose to believe life is for me, and that even the challenges are meant to grow me, evolve me into more of me. And I can't, if I go there too fast, it's, bypassing, it's fake, it doesn't actually work. So there's something really also important about feeling our dark, politically incorrect feelings. What have you enjoyed about, for example, like the Theater of Redemption? Look at your cute face.
I love the Theater of Redemption. It's my favorite.
Is it?
It is, because it's just so passionate, and it's so dark and cathartic, and it's not, I've never had to do it twice for the same thing, which is even better, because it's just so effective for me that I'm like, one and done. Woo, moving on to the next problem. And there's just, and when you guide me through it, whether it's from a recording or from in a live session, it's just so effective. Because you get into it too. It's great.
I do. I've quite and I also want to thank you on our last graduate internship call, where I was the one losing my shit. You were like, can I take you through the Theater of Redemption, Allana? And I'm like, brilliant.
This is like a dream come true.
Thank you for having my back too, love. Thank you. What's it been like to begin to record my books? I'll be super honest. Like, they're not the Art of War or whatever. Like, they're not my memoir. So I had a little bit of, are they good enough? Or what'll she think? I'll be really honest with you. So I'm really grateful that you're recording them all. Your voice is outstanding, but just truth. What has it been like reading them?
It's like talking to you.
Really?
It really is. It's because thankfully you don't give me 3-paragraph long sentences with no commas, but also it's so you. It's like concentrated Allana all the way through. And it's funny because if we met Tuesday night, I did some of the recording yesterday, and then we met last night, and now we're here today. And I'm like, I've had you all week. I'm recording again tomorrow. So yeah, all week. And it really, it's very much like a conversation with you. I love it. And I hope that what we produce in the end will be a conversation with everyone.
I know it will be. In fact, there's no one, I never even considered having anyone read my books until we started to talk about it. And I wanted someone to read it who is the the vibration of the results of doing the work. And you are. And so when you said you would read it, I'm like, oh my God, not only are you an amazing voiceover artist, you're the embodiment of the results of this work. So I was like, dang, thank you. Yeah.
And I just love talking to people about things that could help them. Like, here we go. Let's figure out how to get you happier or more organized or make your business better. Whatever the book is, I love it.
Yeah, I love that. So any of you authors authors out there who want her to read your book, carlaemmons.com.
I am here to help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is interesting. You said like we're together for 4 days. We've only ever done that once before in person or twice. Come to one retreat or two?
Once.
Yeah. What was it like to be with me and to be with the community that you've known sometimes for years on Zoom? Every single week we get together and there they are in person. And there's something of that compressed amount of time that I think is transformational personally. What was it like for you?
Absolutely. I will say when I got back, my boyfriend was like, you should do those more often.
Oh, really?
Because
told me that.
You are just so much, I was so much more relaxed and centered.
Yeah.
And it was almost tangible how chill I was all of a sudden. Because I mean, the 4 days were very intense.
Yeah.
But they were also, I mean, when you get that many people together who all have the same goals and the same priorities and the same willingness to like get into it and just do the work and to take the leaps of faith that, you know, this technique may not sound like it's going to work for me, but let's try it. Right. And then keep going, whether it works or not.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I've never been with a group that was that gung-ho for whatever came in.
Yeah, right. And tell me from your point of view as well, because obviously I'm the perspective of a client, and you've been with some people are very new. You've only known them for a couple of months, and some people you've known as long as you've been coaching with me. How has the community nourished you? What's different about this community?
It took me a long time to get on the calls, as you'll recall. Like, I think the first year I didn't join any group calls.
No, I don't want anyone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just to learn.
I think it has helped immensely to realize that it's helped me get out of that everyone is judging me mindset. And it has also helped me appreciate that I have a voice. I can look at someone I may have only known for a couple of weeks and say, you're doing great, or have you thought of it from this perspective, or you're amazing. And this thing that happened to you is traumatic, but I know you've got it. Mm-hmm. And that is not only, you know, something I'm allowed to do, but it's something that's meaningful to the person I'm saying it to. And I just think I never really saw that before. So it's great to be able to practice being mutually awesome with people every week.
Yeah, it is a super, super safe group, to be real.
Yeah.
It blows me away. Like last night, Amanda just like landed right in there, and it just took us all massively deep, and we just went deeper and deeper the whole call.
Yeah. And going and having somebody lead us down those roads makes it okay for the rest of us to go there as well. Yeah. I mean, there are things that we pack away and we don't want to go look at. But if somebody is like, look, I have one too. Right. I mean, you got to go back there and find it and show it off too and deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I told Garrett last night with the, so we're creating a docuseries, and you and I were talking about the idea, and he loved it. I just can't stop thinking about it, Carla. The idea of like the docuseries having the voice of God, who's a woman, who's you, and over, like, I would just give you the whole episode and you would just do voiceover when you just think, oh, she's
Color
crazy.
commentary.
Right? She's crazy. Shit. Woo woo bullshit, right? Like, be
There
who
she
you
goes
are.
again.
There she goes again, doing her crazy shit. And then really like, oh my God, look at what breakthrough that person just had. Look what they just let go of. That voice in the background thinks that would be phenomenal. So I'll be calling you for that too. And lastly, I'm so grateful as I restructure from Heartmates into a Become the One program and a Find the One or Awaken the One program, where we can put the 10 Allana Pratt Method processes in there. And I also want to thank you, honey, that you made sure I charged well for this, because these are transformational processes. Just because it's an online program, not an in-person program with me, doesn't dilute the value of these extraordinary processes. Thank you for that reflection from me as a businesswoman. I want to say thank you. And second, what is it like? You've just started the coaching program, the certification. What do you think it's going to be like reading all those processes for me professionally?
I'm actually a little nervous about it.
Are you?
Because like your chatty voice is easy to channel. I can channel the storyteller and the supportive person, but the serious let's do work now voice, you're going to be getting some previews, and I'm going to be asking, does this do it? Is this going to draw in the listener to do this process with us? Because perfection is the enemy of done, but I want this to be perfect.
Oh, sweetie. Wabi sabi, perfectly imperfect. It's going to be just fine with me. And what a wonderful additional challenge for you, because you're taking the certification so that you can be a coach for people that want to be voiceover artists, right?
Right.
You're going to have to be that voice for them, that space holder for them.
Yes.
What a wonderful way to practice getting certified and having to record.
And so much of voiceover is having already dealt with your own shit and knowing who you are and being able to embody someone else's voice and words while still maintaining your own core. Right. That's what these great voice artists who are doing amazing things, that's who they are. They know who they are. They're authentic, and you hear it.
They've become the one.
They've become the one. They've skipped ahead and don't need our processes yet, but they'll come back and need us.
Well, I love that, because it all comes back to why I get up every morning, this intimacy being what drives me. Like, I don't want to have shallow conversations. I don't want to avoid my little you inside of my heart. I want to have you feel seen and heard and understood. Like, I love living like that.
Well, and you push all of us to be authentic. Yeah. And you do it in the most kind and compassionate ways. And sometimes with that fierce love that is just incredible to observe, especially when I'm not on the receiving end. And but it's just amazing to watch how much of yourself you put into making sure we're good. And helping us hold ourselves to the standards we've said we want to hold ourselves to.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. It's always scary when I go for the jugular. And I do it with humor, or I do it with an F-bomb, or I do it kind of sexy or sassy, or I just friggin' just ask permission. Can I just tell you it's true? Right. But I can't skip over something. It feels like it's I'm not responsible for you, but I'm certainly responsible to you. We've made a pact to go all the way home, or all the way into enlightenment, or all the way to truth, whatever you want to say. And so I go, it was not getting good until you say, fuck you, Allana, right?
Pretty much.
How many times have you wanted to, or have you said, fuck you? I can't remember.
A lot.
A lot.
Usually it's followed closely with, fuck you, you're right.
I don't need to be right. I just want you to be happy. Yeah. All right. Well, couple last questions and I will let you go, my love. So
Okay.
you just finished the When Mama's Happy, Everybody's Happy, and it's going to be coming out this month, everyone. So I want you to get the audio book and the book, get the combo, because it's going to be Carla's amazing voice. And it's going to be a lot of things I learned. My mom was gone when I had a baby. So I didn't have anybody to ask. I mean, I had other people, but you kind of always want your mom and she wasn't there. So I made a lot of mistakes, but I also learned a lot. And that's, I think, when I really began to realize, the sexy isn't this topical thing. It's this inner aliveness, inner juiciness, inner capacity to be a dork with your kid or let things go. So have you read anything that stuck with you or inspired you? Or
It definitely, the dancing on the coffee table part is one of my favorites, because it's just, this book is wonderful because it gives you permission to do all the things you want to do. And then you feel like, when you first have a baby, you're like, the whole world is judging me whether or not I'm doing X or Y. And this throws it back in the world's face and tells you, you know how to do it. And you're still sexy and you're still awesome. And it's, even now with an 11-year-old, I'm like, oh yeah, I should remember that, because I'm not just mom.
right. Yeah. I mean, I'm just starting to think like she's going to be getting her cycle soon, and you can create a beautiful ritual for her and give her a point of view about her body as a divine temple. Things that my mom did a great job with, a lot of things, but that's not one of the things. It was very perfunctory. You'll get a period.
Yep.
This is how you get pregnant, this kind of thing, but not that your body is a divine temple to be honored, or that you can have pleasure or the perception that your body allows. Like, you can teach her all that shit.
Exactly.
So delicious. Yes.
Going to be interesting.
Yes, it will. tweens and teens are certainly interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Challenging, but great. I mean,
Would get
we always say every age is great, but other than last summer I don't need to do again, because that was kind of leading up to 11 was kind of challenging, but this year has been great.
Wow. Wonderful. Beautiful. If we were to leave the viewers and listeners with one tool that was the greatest healing tool for you on our journey together, what little snippet can we leave them with?
At one point, I think you snapped at me in the most loving, fierce manner.
Did I?
Stop judging everything, especially yourself.
Oh.
And I mean, I come from a very judgmental background, so I sometimes need to remind myself to do that now. But I think it was early on, and it was just like, I didn't even realize I was being judgmental in that moment, and how much I was putting on myself with it. So stop judging everything, especially yourself.
Beautiful. I love this. And so if that's what we're letting go of, what are we putting in its place instead? So the same shit's going to go down. So instead of judging, what do you do now?
Accept and flow with it.
Yeah.
It's the flow.
It's the flow. It's the story of this morning with the battery of the car. You just went with the flow.
Right. Because if you stop to be angry and get all pissy at people, you cause everything to get blocked. And if you just keep moving, keep flowing with it, everything comes out beautifully.
I love it. I love you, honey. I fucking love you.
I love you too.
I'm glad you're coming to Costa Rica so I can hold you in my arms again.
Yes. Yes. I'm so glad you picked Costa Rica. I've never been there, so it'll be awesome.
Cool. We're going ziplining upside down, baby girl. So
you're going ziplining upside down. I will be over here.
Watching.
Maybe waving. Definitely taking photos.
Perfect. Thank you so much for our journey together unfolding in a way that I never knew it would. Supporting me with my books, supporting me with the processes, becoming a coach, an Allana Pratt Method coach, being the voice maybe of God in the upcoming docuseries. We'll see how that goes. You awaken more in me. I really appreciate that. And you receive all my love in all of its cranky, feisty, sexy, dorky forms. And I'm so happy for you. God, I'm happy for you. You're thriving as a voiceover artist. I'm so happy for you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for everything. Everything. I would not have made it here. I would not be as happy as I am.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Sisters forever. Mwah. So all of you watching, I want you to go to carlaemmons.com. If you have anything where you need an extraordinary voiceover artist, I want you to go to allanapratt.com and grab the book that Carla has voiceovered. Is that what's the verb I use?
Narrated.
Thank you. Thank you. Narrated, has narrated. When mom is happy, everybody's happy. And if you're not a mom, get it for a mom. Okay. Because there are some beautiful tips and tools, but also heartfelt stories so that she won't feel so alone, or as Carla had just said about judging herself. And then lastly, I appreciate you being with us for this podcast because it is my honor to love the shit out of you. We will see you next time. All our love. See you next week on Intimate Conversations. Get out there and make love to life. Okay, I'm just pulling out of my favorite thrift store in Riverton. I got myself some candles. And the couple that is there, they are so good to me. This is the thrift store when I first moved here after that last relationship, and I didn't have any furniture. I just had my clothes. I didn't even have like a fork, like nothing. I went to this store and I basically bought everything. I needed a couch, I needed a bed, I needed a fork, I needed everything. She's like, divorce? I'm like, breakup. So they're super cool. And then her husband and her son, shipped all the little dressers and chairs and dining room table. I mean, I freaking bought everything. I think I bought everything for under $1,500. I furnished a 1-bedroom house. So anyways, they're great people. And I get there and they're like, hey, stranger. And then they said, how was your retreat in Mexico? Like, they remembered. How kind is that? And so I told them a little bit about that I got stranded for a couple extra days, but like, that's not a really big deal if you get stranded in Mexico, right? Well, they told me about their trip to Florida where there was 27 inches of rain. They were in this van on the way to the airport with 11 family members together. Can you imagine? And there was so much water, get this, that their van began to float, and they showed me videos. Oh, the cars, it was like to the top of the car. Oh my God. And then they had to sleep at the airport with all of their family and try to get 11 tickets rescheduled. Oh my God. I know why I love these people and why I was attracted to them, because they were just like, well, what are you going to do? You just make friends. You help out the single moms with their babies. I'm like, are you kidding me? So here you are under stress, but what you're doing is helping others. Like, I freaking love these people. I love these people. It very much reminds me about this beautiful podcast you just heard with our amazing Carla, because she is that kind of jovial, positive, looks on the bright side, goes with the flow of life. Bless her, because she's done all this deep work so that there's no need to get upset about what we don't need to get upset about. And we can go with the flow. We can even say, how is this for us? And so I asked the two of them back at the thrift store, what do you want to really acknowledge about your partner and how you got through that? Because it was their 30-year anniversary and his 50th birthday, all together in the airport stranded. And he's just like, she's so resilient. And then she's like, he's such a leader. And it was just gorgeous. So I know that Carla will be attracting her special person whenever it is in divine time. And what an amazing mother she is to her unicycle riding daughter. And it just makes me so blessed, so happy to personally and professionally attract really fucking great people. So got my little goodie bag of candles to go home, and I probably could have spent another hour there, because there's always fun little tchotchke and shit, but I'm like, I don't need any more tchotchke, so I'm just gonna let it be. And I love you. So whatever you're going through, whether it be the challenges that Carla and I talked about on the podcast, whether it is being stranded in an airport like this beautiful couple with the thrift store, or the stuff I've been through, whatever. What if we soften the front of our body? What if we strengthen the back of our body? And what if we open our hearts wide and keep going? and just do our best. Really, when it comes down to it, that is the path to feeling at home and belonging in our bodies, to our souls and our hearts, belonging and connected to others, where we can just all do our best getting through life. All right, until next time on Intimate Conversations, I love the shit out of you.